So Austin St. John and Walter, uh, the Massa and Steven from Django were at NostalgiaCon. And fair use. Let's see what it's about.
So, they're getting their butts kicked by a bunch of 10-year-olds.
Do any of you guys play Fortnite by chance?
I played it the other day for the first time and I died amongst times.
Did you play yourself?
I didn't. I got it. I'm planning to. I'm working on. I'm trying to build a Twitch streaming thing so I can stream with the fans and do the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
And
Hey, they gonna start streaming, huh? All right.
you're talking about doing that as well.
Yeah, so I'm working with Fanwork. Walter and I are both with Fanwork, but we just have so many cool things. But I'm
Why Walter ain't plug Fanwork?
setting up a Discord and a Twitch, and we're going to stream, and I'm going to play with the fans. We're going to do some cool stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
So, we're talking about this year. You got the new toy line with Playmates and the reboots. Playmates is doing Power Ranger toys now.
That had a whole other meaning when I was a kid.
Yeah, he over here trying to crack a Playmates joke. But I believe the Ninja Kids are doing that series for the new Playmate toys.
Didn't it? All right.
So I was going to get your idea, because one of the big things they talked about recently was that there's a reboot in works with Disney Plus Hulu by the show creators of Percy Jackson. And I want to know what your thoughts on that, everybody on the panel.
I had no idea it was the makers of Percy Jackson. I mean, that's cool. Disney had the show before, so it doesn't surprise me they have it again. I would be really excited to see what direction they take. I had hopes for a dark direction, because like Batman started cheesy and now we have the Dark Knight. But if it's Disney, I don't think we're...
I mean, it's not gonna be dark, man. The goal is still to market it to kids.
going that direction.
And the last one, it seemed like they, from when they dropped the teaser, it looked like it had the potential to be that way, and then it totally was not. And so yeah, I'm with Austin. I'd like to see it grow up a little bit, you know what I mean, and get a little edgier. And I think the fans appreciate that. They don't want to, they want to see growth, even in a brand. They don't want to see just stagnation. You know what I mean?
I just also think that if you're going to do a reboot, I mean, there's been several versions and kind of semi-reboots that have happened, and they've all been lovely. But if you're going to reboot something, reboot it. I mean, really reboot it, rebuild it, give it a different flavor, and bring it out. I'm hoping that's what they do. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but I'm hoping that's what they do.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be some possibility for us to be involved. I think that is the idea because we have 32 years of fans. So 3 decades of fans. And
Bro, of course they want to be involved. Every former Power Ranger actor wants to be involved because, like, let's be honest, they're not in anything, and you can say they're typecast or that's all they got going on. But yeah, everyone who was in MMPR wants to be in Power Ranger. Everyone who just was a Power Ranger, I think, would love to go back.
And I want to know what your thoughts on that, everybody on the panel.
I had no idea it was the makers of Batman started cheesy and now we have the Dark Knight. But if it's Disney, I don't think we're going that direction.
And the last one, it seemed like they, from when they dropped the teaser, it looked like it had the potential to be that way, and then it totally was not. And so yeah, I'm with Austin. I'd like to see it grow up a little bit, you know what I mean, and get a little edgier. And I think the fans appreciate that.
It's just not going to get edgier. Like what happens is fans get older, right? And then they want something more adult. But the company is like, going the adult route just ain't the way to go. We still got to cater to kids and selling toys.
They want to see growth, even in a brand. They don't want to see just stagnation. You know what I mean?
I just also think that if you're going to do a reboot, I mean, there's been several versions and kind of semi-reboots that have happened, and they've all been lovely. But if you're going to reboot something, reboot it. I mean, really reboot it, rebuild it, give it a different flavor, and bring it out. I'm hoping that's what they do. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but I'm hoping that's what they do.
yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be some possibility for us to be involved. I think that is the idea because we have 32 years of fans, so 3 decades of fans, and obviously our name recognition and our likeness would bring more to the franchise.
Maybe.
Do you think the original Rangers appearing in the new MMPR series would help, hurt, or have no impact? I'm going to say no impact.
Maybe you're the OG.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but I don't think it's gonna be like, oh my God, we got Austin St. John in there as a cameo doing like shit acting. Cause what else could he do from 30 years ago saying, oh, what a joy it was to be a Power Rangers passing the torch. I'm thinking no impact. No one is like, oh, I'm going to watch it because Austin St. John is in there. I mean, if Walter in there, Brent like, oh, I'm going to watch it because Walter's in there. That's my friend now. It may be some goofy shit like that, but one-offs for sure.
Playmates.
Now, kind of talking about you guys are all the original crew. We got the producer, we got stunt performers here as well. Now, that first season, you guys, I talked to Rangers after you guys, but you guys were known to be in the suit more often.
Good point. As much impact as having David Yost showing up in the last season of Power Rangers. No impact. Some people didn't even know he was in there. Some people probably like, wait, who was this guy? You had to explain like who he was for all like the new fans. It would get attention from older people, but no impact to attract kids, which is the main goal, Ryan. Attract kids, not adults who's gonna watch it no matter what. They're gonna like the adult fans are gonna watch the Power Rangers series no matter who's the actor or anything like that. They don't care.
Than most people were later on. Now, how much were you guys in the suits compared to like him in the suit doing the stunts? I'll let you guys know.
He did a lot of the stunts. I mean,
Now, this is a good question because remember, they wanted a percentage of the toy sales, which didn't they say it was like $1 million an episode? So, with that in mind, and him saying, "Oh, the stunt guy was in the suit most of the time."
they were in the suits most of the time. We did a lot of transitional things. So like we would fight, run up, and take off the helmets and everything.
Well, I think when they cast these guys, they cast very physically talented people right off the bat, thinking that they would be able to do both. But if you've ever done anything in production, you know that that's almost impossible time.
Jerusalem said, I want something other than MMPR because I feel like it's too much now. But if we're going to do the MMPR right, I want writing from the space through RPM. Okay. See, Jerusalem is accepting of my vision. MMPR with the modern day stories. Look, man, I'm a visionary.
Was because they need to be with first
So if they do it, I'm gonna say my influence is felt.
unit shooting all the hero scenes and
Like how you agree with that was my idea, guys. That was what I said. But I'm happy y'all on board though.
whatever location as themselves as the actors. Meanwhile, we're second unit spending literally 12 hours from like dawn to dusk fighting all day until we lose a light. And it takes that just to complete the episode. And not only that, heaven forbid,
I should write that in a notebook. No, dog. You like what I said is not like something original. I can't imagine being the first person in the world to think, okay, let's take MMPR characters and give them the modern best stories. That ain't original. Like if they were to do that and I was to put like an Aaron Schonke, like please unsubscribe or something, man.
we have an accident and one of us doing a fight sequence, jumping off stuff, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, we're expendable. You know what I mean? So, whereas they are not. He breaks an ankle, your show's down for weeks, or they're writing it into the script.
Yeah, it's the stunt thing was original. That was part of the concept to keep the budget down. Was that everybody was just going to do the thing, but it became,
Wait, what? There was a budget?
Yeah, well, such as it was. But it turned out pretty quickly that yeah, you're right. The way we had it set up originally, they had to shoot 4 episodes a week. It went down to 3 eventually, but 3 episodes a week is nearly impossible to pull off when you're doing it normally. And when you're doing a show like Rangers, which is so technical, a lot of, even though it's funny and it's kind of I called it fromage, not cheese, but kind of cheesy and all that stuff, there's still an enormous amount of technical stuff that has to be done. You have to create, every one of those props they had, they don't buy it in the store, they had to make it. Every fight has to be choreographed, everything has to be done.
Bro, I get bullied on stream, off stream. Bro. I'm like Nick Palome Jr., yo. Everyone hates me. My mods hate me. Chat hates me. It's just like, bro. Like, this is what Nick Palome feels like, yo. Where everyone is just kicking his back in constantly. Like, there's no, it's just like, oh, yeah, I'm just everyone's punching bag and shit.
Down to the T, so it was impossible for them to continue. I think one of the things that we did do, because with the original cast, they wanted martial artists, they wanted gymnasts, they wanted dancers, they wanted people who wouldn't have an issue with the physicality of the role. And so that did allow, like Walter and I, because Walter was a martial artist, that allowed us to do a ton of the unmorphed fight scenes, which
Okay.
you saw us doing all the time. And we weren't afraid of it. We had a blast doing it. I choreographed every fight I ever did for those. And that was a lot of fights.
He choreographed every fight he ever did. I mean, I know y'all don't hate me, but some people actually fucking hate my guts now. I'll be like, what the fuck? They like, no, fuck you, Henry. I'll be like, hey, it's life, man.
But that was a blast. That was always third unit. And, you know, ABC or Charlie unit. Charlie unit was fighting. Bravo unit did a lot of fights. And that was second unit with like Koichi and you know, the other stunt choreographers and directors. And
So what would the stunt choreographers doing if Austin St. John was choreographing all his fights? At the tender age of 18, freshly 18 at that.
of talent. To this day, there's probably over.
Like, how do people just not correct him? How do people just not be like, bro? Like, you see Walter just looking at him like, yo, he doing that shit again, ain't he? He doing that shit. How they not just like, bro? How are they just letting this shit ride? I would have been like, bro, come on, stop it. I'm like, which ones did you choreograph? You know, which ones were yours? The first one, second one, which one?
3,000 martial arts, probably more now. I think we had half of those guys on set. And you could not walk on a set with any sense of humility and not learn something every day. So it was incredible to be around Bridget Riley and Koichi and so many of these just incredibly talented fighters out there, Danny and other gymnasts like Eric Betts and these guys. They all had their niche.
Richard Brandon was like a wushu.
He was going to China for the competition. He broke his leg on a stunt, and that ruined his competition. But that's the risk that the stunt guys
We
take.
weren't supposed to talk about that yet.
We don't talk about Bruno. Okay.
No, but look.
Shut the fuck. Oh man, Geiger, man.
I mean, honestly, for you guys as fans, like, isn't it so much more believable for you when you see Austin and Walter kicking butt as civilians, and then when they morph and turn into Power Ranger, even though it's us, you know that they were very capable of doing that. So for you, it's a total buy-in that it's the same character, the same, you know, the transition is smooth, you know.
Although it was sometimes odd because sometimes the stunt guys were taller than us or shaped differently. I'm like, wait, that doesn't look like me. It's odd, but it all worked out.
Suspension of disbelief.
Have y'all talked to later cast later on and kind of see the differences in their productions with the the earlier seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened later on in the cast, I don't know the reasoning necessarily, but the later cast, they weren't as physical. They didn't do a lot.
Aisha wasn't as physical. Steve Cardenas, Johnny Young Bosch, right? You got to talk about the replacements, right?
A lot of the physical fights, maybe because of the fact that the possibilities of them getting hurt would cause a problem in production.
They did scale down. That
Insurance,
a lot, so.
honest to God, insurance has a lot to do with that, what they're willing to pay and what they're not.
So I did the first 10 seasons from starting about halfway through first season, going all the way through Wild Force. So with them, we did a ton of fights with the actors.
First 10
Progressively
seasons.
through the years, they realized, oh, you're going to have them morph sooner anyways, because back then they would use Japanese footage. So when it changed to the Rangers, you'd see Tokyo in the background because it was a cheap show. They were getting a lot.
I love that he brought up the Japanese footage because that devalues them in a way. Because hey, y'all don't have to do all y'all have to do is ADR. That's it. Hey, but they wanted a piece of them toy sales though. Like, I wish they would talk about that, but given who like asking them questions, none of that shit's gonna come up.
Footage from the show over there. But then it started not fitting with the American storylines. And I think kids picked up pretty quick that, oh, that's Tokyo, that's not Angel or whatever. So then we started shooting more and more of it here. But as we did that, they would write when the transition happens a little bit sooner, and they would scale back the fights with the actual actors so that we could do more crazy stuff, and then they could have the actors for more time on first.
I know, like, you got these two up there. You got this huge documentary that just came out where this guy right here, I think, was talking about Tweet crashing out at the I don't know, the showcase meeting, them getting exposed for asking for a percentage of the toy sales, and nothing. It never comes up. I'd be like, bro, that was like a huge revelation.
Honestly, it's more efficient. It's
Yeah,
less
100%.
from a budget standpoint. It's more efficient. Sorry, the producer in me is coming out. I can tell you where I got in trouble. I'm pretty sure I gave people a stroke and a couple of heart attacks. We did the live show at Universal, and so very different live versus.
It's like someone's like, you know what it's like sometimes. You ever you ever met that guy who peaked in high school? You know, like the old quarterback or something. Never made it to the pros. I think that's what it is with like Austin St. John. This is the highlight of his life 30 years ago. That's what it is. And Walter asking for $80 for autograph is crazy. I think Austin is like at 100 now. So, I mean, they're going to price y'all out.
On a set somewhere, you get to take two, and you can mitigate risk by adding crash pads and shooting at different angles and make it look higher than it is. On stage, there's none of that. It is what it is, and everybody can see it. And I was 18, young, dumb, and full of stuff.
Young, dumb, and full of cum is the saying. But like that, this is where his maturity is at. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Over being jealous of JDF. Yeah.
And there was this great big platform on the stage, and I saw it. I was like, and I watched everybody do their intros. I was like, no, man, no, wait, what's that? I'm gonna flip off of that. And they're like, no, you're not. Austin, you're not going to flip off of that. It's dangerous. What if you break your leg, Austin? Don't do that. Yalla, come here, Austin. Let's talk to you. And I was like, I'm doing it. And so then they went from absolutely not, you could die, we don't know what to do, to he could die on stage live. No, actually, what I said, that's a great effing idea, because it's going to look great. So, sorry. They got behind it, and next thing I know, there's pyrotechnics and explosions. And the first one I did, I completely over-rotated, but I rolled and tucked in the whole. Yeah.
Bro. I wish we could just fact check everything Austin says, man. I wish there was someone like, I wish he was more popular so we could fact check it.
The whole point to Hollywood is if you don't stop and go, oh my God, I screwed up, most of the time people don't know you screwed up. You just keep it going, keep the show going. All the ones after that, I stuck it. But there was one time on set
all the ones after that, he stuck it.
where I did a flip off of a rock, and they were like, we're not going to do that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go flip off of that rock. You're welcome to bring cameras. I thought I had this in the bag because I got so tired of being told what I couldn't do. I've never responded well to that. And so I get over there and I did this front flip. It was actually a Russian off the top of this rock, and they shot it from a couple angles. I was like, that's gonna be the coolest thing I've ever done. And then I realized who has the power, and it's called the director, and it's called the editing floor, where the film that showed my flip, they showed me start to jump at the top of the rock, and then they showed my feet landing in the sand, and I was like, no, I got duped.
I mean, I don't know if he landed it though, right? Because like if you actually flipped, that's way cooler than showing you at the top and then showing your feet. You got, I got to call Cap, man.
Stop the cap.
Now, we're kind of getting towards the end here, but I did have a question kind of more geared towards Austin and Walter. And you guys famously, you had the falling out. You guys left in the middle of season 2, and we're supposed to do Cyberforce.
Oh, this is the stuff that everyone asks about. It was like, hey, you should do it. I'm like, it was just a poster. And I think Walter actually confirms that, hey, nothing ever got filmed. It was them three leaving. And let me see if I can find the poster while he talk about it.
What is Cyberforce? Nobody seems to know what it is.
So what it was is we were working with a manager, and we were trying to put together a project that was going to focus on three, Austin and myself. It was another science fiction project to capitalize on the popularity we already had. As things happen in Hollywood, we had a script, we had people behind us, there was financing, but then things start falling through the cracks, and somebody falls out, and next thing you know, it doesn't happen. So, but we made a poster, and I've been seeing the poster a lot online. People are like, what is this, Cyberforce? It would have been a really cool project. It was a science fiction project that had to deal with like space and
yeah, it never came out, guys. Jesus, I didn't lost where I put it. The most that came of it was this poster. That was it. That's it. We shot a poster and never shot anything else.
being superheroes and the whole thing, but different for Power Rangers. unfortunately, it just never happened.
We have time for a couple of questions from the fans.
It never happened. That was it. Hey, we got this idea because they all signed with this management company. It's like, oh, we're gonna turn you guys into some stars. F Power Rangers. Yeah, okay. How'd that work out? We shouldn't have left. We wish we would have did the movie.
Sir,
Repitch it. Yeah, why don't you? Anybody have a question? Come up here, and I'll come get you.
I don't think was it any good questions?
All right. Just tell us your name. Go ahead and tell us your question.
Hi, my name's Matt. I was talking to you guys earlier, and I was asking if you could tell a story about the time tour cycles.
so we have these giant motorcycles and because we didn't have a huge budget,
He asked about the motorcycles. Austin keeps checking his watch, dog, because look, man, time is money for that guy, right? He probably don't want to be there. I mean, I don't know. Did y'all hear anything like new that was like, oh my God?
they were salvaged Katana 900s. They're these massive bikes to begin with. But the fact that they were a bunch of salvaged bikes, our transfer team would try to fix them back up as much as possible. So they were a little bit scared. That made it so incredibly front end heavy. Who could ride motorcycles back then.
Bro, no way you got them up there and I'm asking about some goddamn motorcycles. I mean, but that's me.
We had to take off on the bikes, and the day before the shoot, I noticed one of my front shocks was leaking a little bit. That morning I see that the fluid's been cleaned up, so I think, oh, they fixed it. Just go all the additional weight on the fairings.
Are we still just talking about the motorcycles? Like, bro,
The front end
where's the next question?
just wanted to die. I'm now in front of the bike because it went down this way, and the bike is hard, solid plastic and metal, and it's heavier than me, and it's chasing me, and I finally have to block my hands and feet off on this thing, and it's like pushing me across
It's still motorcycle talk. You're shitting me.
the team and the rest of the stunt team.
Thank everybody for being here. And
That was it. What the fuck? Well, you got to consider some things. It is what it is. So if you were told that you can't do something, you're going to prove them wrong. So Geiger can't steal from the government. Oh, wait. You can't keep talking. Please shut the fuck up. Oh, man. It is what it is, man. Great motorcycle question. No questions about them wanting a percentage of the toy sales, which that would be great to get a confirmation. Like, hey, did you guys ask for a percentage of the toy sales? Hey, how about Tweet crashing out at that whatchamacallit? I mean, those were, questions I would have asked. Those are things I think most fans would want to know of. Not, I mean, sure, the Fortnite one is current, it's topical. I don't know, man. It's you knew you were getting a fluff interview when you saw the host, but hey, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section. See you next video. Peace. No balls in the room.